Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing today? It is 3 p.m. UK time. It's time for some Instagram and Shopify reviews. My name is Michael Essek, and let's see who we've got in the house today. Stan is here. Greetings from South Africa. Raymond, thanks for helping me search for a future shop. I'm not really sure what that means. Amira, good day, everyone, from warmish Georgia. Exciting session today. Yes, it should be a good one. If you can see and hear me okay, give me the thumbs up, give me a hello. Let me know that we're all good. I did just reboot the internet because I like to live dangerously. And we'll see how this goes today. I have had my haircut. First time in at least a month. And yeah. It's feeling good up there. It feels a lot better. Gary is here. Bo is here. Nicholas is here. Wendy is here. Swearworks from South Africa. Not South Africa, San Francisco. I believe that is. Darren from Arizona. Rabi from Morocco. Wonderful. Wendy can hear me. Loud and clear. All good, NYC. Kathleen, Dennis, Gary, thumbs up. Beth, good to be here. Wonderful. Where's my slides gone? There they are, hiding. Let me bring my slides up today. We have an interesting topic for today. We're going to review Instagram and Shopify stores and talk about stuff like that. But before we do, Teddy is here. Good morning. And Franisha, got your name right first time. Franisha, how are you doing? Yeah, what's going on? Weather here. Weather updates in typical British fashion. The weather is very nice today. It is warm. It is sunny. I mean, warm by, relative standards. It's not warm if you're in Georgia or Los Angeles, but it's warm here. Even though, this is how warm it is. I still have a big woolly sweater on. But yeah, it's certainly nicer than it's been in a long while. Looks like spring is poking its head. Nico from New Jersey, I think, and Tomatore is here too. Right, so yeah, we're going to do Instagram and Shopify reviews. Thank you to everyone who's submitted something. I have some slides I'm going to go over and teach some things, and then we'll dive into some reviews, and I hope I can help some people along the way. Let's go. Let's get into it. So if you can like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or something like that, one of those platforms where it's got a little thumbs up or a subscribe here thing, then if you push that would be great. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but it'd be cool if you did. Today's plan is to review some Instagram accounts and some other stuff. Please do ask questions as usual. I have the live chat open here as I'm presenting, so you can ask me anything you like within reason, and I'll do my best to answer it. Inkfish is here from Colorado. Hello to you. A few things first. This is for artists, designers, illustrators, print-on-demand sellers. Those people who are producing designs to be printed on products for sale. So commercial art. That is to say, I'm not giving, Instagram reviews for marketers or companies or people who are not in the business of creating artwork. And nor am I really reviewing stuff from an artistic perspective, as though I'm, critiquing your artwork or anything. This is really with a view to selling art or having designs that are able to be sold or to be licensed or something like that, and really to build a brand around that art. So, if you paint for a hobby or you do this for, relaxation or something, that's not what this is about. This is about helping people build a brand, build a business from their art and from their designs. Okay. So yeah, store and brand owners, if that's the way you're thinking, if that's the way you're heading, if you're trying to start a brand, build a brand around your art, then you'll find something helpful in today's session, I think. Before we get into it, though, if you want free design resources and tips, such as the 5 Ways to Improve Your Ideas ebook, my Fonts for T-shirts resources pack, the Ideas Files ebook, and free print-on-demand site data spreadsheet, you can get those all right now at michaelessek.com/live. If you go there, sign up, give me your email address, you will get access to all these amazing free resources. You can download them right away, dive into them. Really good ebooks, really good font resource there, and a spreadsheet that shows you different print-on-demand sites, how they compare, and all those kind of things. So yeah, if you're not already on my email newsletter, go ahead and sign up at michaelessek.com/live right there. And yeah, you will have access to all of that right away, this instant. Okay, reviewing your Instagram and Shopify. But first, quick question. Angie is here. Hello to you. Elsa from Guatemala. Lovely to have you, Elsa. I think you maybe sent something in, and we'll look at that in a second. Mike from Texas. And Sue, quick question. Shopify, thoughts on Oberlo? I would like to add a few extra items, and I'm curious about people's experience with them. Do you only sell your own art? I do. I'm afraid I don't have any experience with Oberlo, so I can't really comment on that. Grey Elephant Club, hello from Cleveland. And Heather, afternoon from Leeds, listening and doing my day job, in case Big Brother is watching. Well, they're always watching, aren't they, Heather? So let's get into reviewing Instagram and Shopify stuff. Why are we talking about this in the first place? I'll get onto that in a second, but why would you want to listen to me about this stuff? I would take my advice with a pinch of salt, but I do have several years' experience using Instagram from a business perspective. I have an Instagram account which I've run for several years, but has laid dormant for the past few of those. I think it's still at about 10,000 followers or something like that. I think at its peak it was about 15,000 followers, and that was really an account for a brand, art-based brand that was selling mainly T-shirts and stuff like that. Now, it's the reason I think it's what's my point here? My point is that if you build something like that, this still has 10,000 followers, even though it's barely been updated in the past few years. And I can pull out my phone, take a picture, put a design on there, and have it in front of a fair few thousand people almost immediately, and get feedback and get responses on that. Obviously, it would have been better if I didn't let that Instagram account, die. But my point is that once you build an audience on something like Instagram, you still have a pretty good chance to really get in front of them years later down the line, even if you don't maintain it. Similarly, if you have an email newsletter or something, you stop emailing those people for 2 years. Okay, it's going to be weird when you email them again out of the blue, but you still have a resource you can get in front of people with. So I do have some experience with Instagram, especially using it and kind of building an audience on there, and I've been able to do that myself. So that's why you might want to listen to me. But let's get into why you might want to build an Instagram account and maybe pay attention to it. Really, the bigger objective is, like I said, we want to build an audience who likes your stuff, so that when you promote something in the future, they might buy it. Simple as that. You want to get like-minded people who are into your art or whatever subject that you're sharing about or producing content about, so that when you have something to share, when you have whatever it might be, whether you have a t-shirt, whether you have a product, whether you have a product range or something, they might buy it because they like you, they're interested in it, they're interested in the topic, or they like your style, and so they might buy what you put out. I'm not sure what that, I think I deleted what I was going to say there. Ignore that one. But yeah, Instagram objectives. You could say that kind of what's the big picture? Why would you want to have an Instagram account in the first place? To sell stuff? Well, yeah, but not really, but people do try that, and we'll look at some accounts here in a second which are almost trying to sell, right away, right out of the gate with their Instagram account. I think that's a very difficult thing to do. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, there are big Instagram accounts which exist basically to sell things, but that's difficult to do. It's difficult to grow an audience if you're not already an established brand by trying to sell people things. Like, people don't go on Instagram to buy stuff necessarily. They go on Instagram to look at cool pictures and see funny things and follow interesting people, not to buy something. So if you're coming out the gate saying, hey, buy my stuff, that's difficult to get people engaged there, because they're like, whoa, it's like trying to sell something on the street as people walk past. So That's one potential objective, not a great one, but I think you should pursue. Another one is people have an Instagram account because they feel they should. So maybe you feel that as an artist, you should have an Instagram account, and it kind of serves as your portfolio, like a little mini portfolio or almost a mini website or something where people can see your work, but you're not actively like trying to get an audience on there. You just have it because you know you should, or because it serves as a kind of mini portfolio or something. And that's fine. Like if that's your deal, that's cool. That's again, that's not really what we're talking about here. But then the big one and the real objective, I think, as artists and brand owners, you should have is really to get the follow. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for engagement, and especially you're looking for people to actually follow your account, because then once you've got them, you can direct them somewhere else. For example, you could get them to sign up to your email newsletter or something like that, or you could direct them to your own website, and you could retarget them with a Facebook pixel or retarget them with some Google code and stuff. And so you have, you begin to build up some resources that you can use in the future, whether that's quite, further down the line stuff like paid ads, or whether it's just emailing people when you have a new product or something you want to share about. So that's the big objective here, is don't think about Instagram as I'm going to put stuff up there and sell it and it's going to help me sell stuff. Think about it as you're going to put stuff up there. People are going to like it. They're going to follow you. And because they like you and follow you, they might then buy something further down the line when you promote it. Okay. I'll put that up there and then just answer a question or two here. Eddie says hello. Hello to you, Eddie. Wendy, I've attempted various branding over the past 2 years, so now none of my social media accounts match. Do I change current accounts to be unified or start from scratch? I see. Okay. So I think what Wendy's asking, she's saying like she has a Facebook account that's one thing, an Instagram account that's something else, and they don't have matching branding across the board. Do I change my current accounts to be unified or start from scratch? I think it depends on the individual accounts. Like if you have an account that's something that you were doing 2 years ago and you're not doing it anymore, but it has a few hundred followers or something, should you rebrand it to your new thing? Well, yeah, if it's related, if it's kind of fairly closely related and stuff, then there's nothing stopping you from doing that. I think sometimes there is the best thing to start from scratch if you're doing a new thing. But if what you're doing is related, like if it's some kind of personal account or something, then yeah, you can hook them up, or you can rebrand what you already have. Okay. Anthony from New Orleans. No, hi, Anthony from New Orleans. Is that Victoria saying hi to Anthony? I don't know. Okay. IG sales funnel. You can see this on your screen. I didn't make this, but I found it, and I think it's pretty good. Pretty good overview of what I just said. So if you think about Instagram and how it works, it is like this kind of funnel. So people are going to find your stuff. And this is, by the way, no small thing to spend time thinking about. How are people going to find what you put on Instagram? Typically, that means things like hashtags and those kind of things. But you might want to spend a bit of time, if you're especially if you're starting from a small kind of base. Like, how are you going to actually get people to see what you're posting on Instagram? Oftentimes, it might start from you having a resource and then you direct them over there. Like you might have a Redbubble store that links to your Instagram. You might have an email newsletter and you might send people over to your Instagram. That's a good way to get started and to get some initial followers. But as an organic, way to get discovered, it's quite tricky and it's going to take a long time. So bear that in mind from the start. But yeah, people are going to discover your stuff. They're going to see it. They're going to see that someone liked it or shared it. And then they're going to come over to your profile and they're going to check your profile out, see if they like it. They might like a few pictures or favorite a few things or save a few things. And then if you're really fortunate, they might actually hit the follow button because they want to see more of your content. And then later down the line, they might click the link in your bio or something, and you may even get a sale from them. So that's the target right down here. But you've got to jump them through all these hoops first. So it's not a case of, sell, sell, sell. It's a case of let me warm people up. They get to know me, they get used to me, and then we convert. So we'll look at this in some practical examples in some reviews in a second. But here's what I think the Instagram objective should be for you as an artist, as a designer, that kind of thing. And that's get the follow so that you can build an audience, so that you can then direct them elsewhere and perhaps sell them something in the future. So get the follow, produce nice stuff, whatever that might be, so that they're going to actually hit the follow button, so that you build up over time this audience of people who, when you have something to promote, something to sell or market, they are likely to respond well to that because they already like you and know what you're about. So that's what I think great Instagram objectives should be. Sue, can you promote your Instagram on your Etsy store? I'm not sure if they have like a little place where you can place it, but I would assume they do. It's been a while since I've kind of checked on that, but you could certainly do things like put it in your bio or something like that, or put it in your product descriptions. So yeah, you could try that route. That's another way you could do that. A really important thing to think about, just kind of big picture before we get into these reviews, why do people follow people on Instagram is what we're talking about here. But this is a question that applies whether it's Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever the platform is. Why do people follow people in the first place on these platforms? And here's some different options, some different reasons that people might follow you. So one of them is they might just like the art that you have. They might like your style, they might like your approach, and so they're going to hit follow because Instagram is a visual platform and people like to scroll and see nice things. So if they like your art, then there is a real value in having nice stuff to look at. Like, I think because we now live in this digital world where everything's online, and that means we've got used to seeing all kinds of incredible artwork and designs and stuff, regardless of you can get access basically to anything. Whereas 40, 50 years ago, you would have to open a magazine or get a book to see really nice artwork like that and pay for it. So now it's free. Like you can follow almost any artist anywhere and see great artwork. But there's still that value there. Like people follow because they like your stuff. And I think that's not something that should be quickly dismissed, especially from the artist's point of view. This is where you have an advantage. Your ability to create nice looking artwork is why people are going to follow you. That alone, you putting stuff out is enough to get people following you in a lot of cases. Another reason people follow, laughs, entertainment, nostalgia, those kind of things. People look at funny memes. People want jokes. They want funny videos, all that kind of stuff. They're looking for an escape. They're looking for distraction. Nostalgia. They're looking for, looking to be reminded of funny things from the past or whatever. So that's a big one. And that's one that we can overlap quite well, especially that's kind of been my forte, is nice looking, something that's nice to look at combined with something that's funny. And then we put them together and come up with some content that people will like and follow you for. Another reason people follow, insight, knowledge, education. So if you can bring something new to the table, maybe not as prevalent for artists unless you're trying to attract other artists, unless you're trying to do stuff that you're trying to build an audience of other people who are interested in, education around art, or how to draw things, or how to make nice looking artwork, how to come up with ideas like I do. Those kind of things. Inspiration, motivation. I think we're all familiar with things like the inspirational quotes and stuff on Instagram. That's a big reason people can follow people, because they're like, oh, I like these quotes. These are great. These are helping G me up in the morning or whatever. So let me follow these people. News updates, less important, or parasocial interests. So what we'll talk about in a second here is how you present yourself on Instagram. Are you a person? Are you a brand? If you're a person, then people are genuinely interested in people from a nosy kind of human interest kind of way. Who are you? What are you up to in day to day? What are you having for breakfast? What are you having for lunch? What do your family look like? What does your house look like? What does your garden look like? What car do you drive? All those kind of things. And that's something that shouldn't be dismissed out of hand. Of course, you might not want to engage in that too much. But as an artist, you might have to do a little bit of sharing, and that can be very engaging. It can really engage people if you share like behind the scenes stuff about your life and what you're doing. Okay, brand personas. So I mentioned just then that you can present yourself in different ways on Instagram. You could be a product-based brand, like a company, a t-shirt brand, something like that. You could be an independent artist, so an individual artist who's posting their work. And important to remember as well, as an independent artist, you don't have to use your real name. You can use an avatar, you can use a pseudonym. Look at someone like Banksy or something. You don't have to, just because you're positioning yourself as an individual on Instagram, as a person, doesn't mean that you have to use, Michael Essek, here's my location, all that kind of stuff. You can go under, a pseudonym or something. Another option is more content based. So you're not a company, you're not a brand, you're not a clothing brand or anything like that. You're not an individual person, but you're kind of a content based brand. So this might be photos of travel photos or something like that, or great artwork of dinosaurs. I don't know, vintage dinosaur artwork or something, like the poster behind me, that kind of deal. You could have an account based on something like that. So it's content based. It's based around an interest or a subject or something like that. And then you build, a following around that particular subject or around that content. And then another option, which I think is a really good one for artists to consider, is what I call a pop-up brand. Another name for this, the lettering artist Lauren Hom, she calls it a passion project, or some people might call it a side hustle or something like that. But this is what I would call like a mini brand, and this is something that you can set up. You can be an artist who has a brand. And one good example of this, which again I came to via Lauren Hom's passion project kind of idea, is this one. Let me find it. I've got it up here somewhere. Subpar Parks. I don't know whether you've seen this. This is an Instagram account and a project by an artist called Amber Shares, and the idea is she's taken reviews of America's national parks and done posters based on those reviews. So not worth the hype. Didn't arrive on time, total waste. Amazingly boring. Mist obscured the views and that kind of thing. So she's gone through and like taken, I think from like Google Maps or something, she's taken the reviews, negative reviews from national parks and stuff like that. And then she's done this series of vintage like travel posters, really nice looking travel posters, but with that, that negative review on top. And this was started, or her first post was December 2019. So what's that? A little over a year and a few months ago, something like that. And has amassed in that time 310,000 followers. Now has a book deal, or a book coming out, I should say, and other licensing stuff. She's got calendars and stuff that have come out of this project. And 310,000 followers by the artist Amber Shares, who actually only has 16,000 followers. So I think this is a good example of what I was just saying about a pop-up brand. Amber is the artist. She's the person who created this stuff. She started an account, started a brand, started an Instagram account for her little project for Subpar Parks. And, she just posted just literally the artwork, the designs. She didn't do anything too fancy. She just posted them, tagged a few things, and away she goes. And now you can see how it's grown in the past year or so. So a really good example there of just something I think artists should consider. Just because you're on Instagram as an individual and as an artist, you don't have to, morph yourself into a brand or a company. You can set up, obviously, different Instagram accounts for whatever project you're working on. If you're doing a series of designs around something, or you'd like to start a little mini brand, a mini project, then you can do that without, sacrificing or leaving your main Instagram account. You can have both. You can run both. So I think that's a good option for a lot of artists, and it can lead to some good ideas and good projects like that. Okay, Lin, is it a good idea to have a personal account with the shop link or a business account with a shop link? Thank you. I don't think it actually really matters, Lin. I'm not actually. I think it depends what you mean by shop link. Like, I'm not sure whether personal accounts can actually have like Instagram shops. I don't know whether that's what you mean. If you're just talking about like a link in the bio that says, check out my store or whatever. But yeah, I don't think it matters, and I'll get into this in a second here. Whether your account is a business account, like technically an Instagram business account or an Instagram personal account, I think having an Instagram business account does give you more flexibility and allows you to do some more things in some cases. But I'm not an Instagram expert by any means, so I don't really want to get too much in the nitty gritty. But before we review a few people's stuff, I would just point out a few things that I think are important when you're setting up your Instagram and stuff. Artists do not sell products. This has been true for hundreds of years, hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Artists as a category don't typically sell products. Artists, brands sell products, and artists create art. That's how it works in fine art. The artist paints the canvas, and then the artist has a show at a gallery or something, and then a gallery will sell the art to the buyer. The artist is not the one doing the selling. The artist is the one creating. And I think this kind of principle holds true even online, even though we are in a world where artists can sell products. Of course, they can and do, and I do. But typically, people don't expect a designer to be a brand first and foremost. They expect you to be an artist first with stuff you sell, not to be a company with an artist attached, if that makes sense. So it often makes sense, especially if you're positioning yourself as an individual artist and hoping to sell products, to be artist first with merch, if you like, or with goods that I'm selling, rather than I'm a brand and confusing the two. And I'll show you some examples here in a second. Tell you what, let's get into reviewing some of these and giving some tips and stuff, and then I'll come back to these slides in a second. So, Elsa, I hope you're here with us. Elsa sent over her Instagram account, and there's a bit of a limitation, a bit of a limit on what I can say, because I did only get a C, I think, in my GCSE Spanish, so I'm afraid I can't speak Spanish particularly well, and this is a primarily Spanish-speaking account. However, I've done a little bit of Google Translate and tried my best to see what I can do. But Elsa is here. She's here. Wonderful to have you here, Elsa. First off, wonderful work. Lovely, colourful, text-based hand lettering work. You can see why I think people would want to follow your account here. And wonderful colors, wonderful clear hand lettering, and lots of really nice stuff. Now, a few thoughts off the top of my head and what I had when I looked at your account. I don't really know, and maybe you don't know, what your objective is with Instagram exactly, and particularly, who are you targeting? Who are you going after? So are you trying to build a personal kind of brand around yourself, and then you're going to sell products to customers? Or are you, I see that you do, for example, workshops. So are you trying to be more of a brand that attracts other artists so that you can sell workshops or things to them? I also see that you do things like wallpapers, so you're giving away like wallpapers and stuff for people's phones, which is really cool. So I think there's a bit of like mixed audiences going on, and I would wonder whether, first off, you would be better off defining exactly what your objective is and kind of focusing in on that. For example, I clicked your link tree and saw that there's there's various stuff here. There's let's see, what have we got? So yeah, you've got wallpapers that people can use and download, which is really nice. I would see that as that's a good lead magnet for customers, potential customers. People that are interested and like your work, they would like your wallpapers. Now, what you've done here is you've given it away for free, which is cool, but I would make them jump through a hoop and get their email address first. So don't just link straight to the Google Drive with the files. Make them give you an email address, because then you've got another way you can contact those people. Because if they like your work enough to have a wallpaper on their phone, chances are they're going to be happy to give you their email address so that they can hear from you when you have a new product or something out. So that would be one thing. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, that's a link to some stories and stuff. And then this one, which I think this is computer wallpaper to download, but I think is it paid? Like you have to buy it? Yeah, you have to pay for it. So that's fine. But what I'm not seeing here, and you've got children's creativity workshops and stuff like that, and then your editorial projects. So you're kind of hitting, I hope I'm making myself clear, you're kind of hitting a lot of different audiences. I'm not sure whether you're looking for clients on Instagram to do freelance work for, whether you're looking for clients for your creative workshops, whether you're trying to build up a customer base of interested people who really like your style and who you can sell products to. So there's different audiences. I'm not clear exactly which one you're going after. And I think, if you decide that first, that will make everything else, all your decisions thereafter a little bit more straightforward. Now, a few thoughts. I'm just going to spit out a load of thoughts, and you just, pick up what's good and leave what's bad. But things like, so you got a lot of hand lettering, and I can see some particular kind of styles and stuff going on here. If you are considering doing more of a, trying to build an audience of artists who maybe want to do what you do, and you offer them resources like brushes or fonts or things like that, then I think you have the makings here of something that could be good for that. You have what I imagine, you could turn some of your hand lettering into fonts, and I could see that being something people would want, either, as a low price product, or as something you give away for free in exchange for an email address, again, something like that. That would be another way to build that audience. But I think, your work and your style, like this kind of hand lettering, like this would make a nice font, and you could sell that, or you could, like I say, give it away in exchange for email addresses or something. So that's one thought I had. Another thought is kind of the example I just gave of the pop-up mini brand. I think that would really work well for something like these. I can see you've got a series of very similar designs here, similar lettering pieces, and these are all really nice. They all fit together very nicely, but then there's only this little kind of patch of them, and then we go off into other stuff, which is fine. But would that be, for example, the kind of thing you could build a pop-up brand around, a little mini brand? And that could be something you do maybe on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You post a new, quote in this style, and then off the back of that, you can sell prints. These things would look great on, wall art and posters and prints and things like that. And t-shirts as well, all things. But I think in particular, your work, to me, at least initially, screams, wall art. It screams canvas or print or something on the wall. I think that would be the first kind of product I'd focus on if I was you. But yeah, I think those would be my suggestions. It's hard for me. It's extra hard because I don't speak Spanish. But I think you've obviously got incredible talent. You're doing some really nice work. I think it lends itself to Instagram. I don't think you would struggle to attract a following, but I think a bit more consistency in the posts, so that I can scroll through and immediately get, oh yeah, this is an artist. She's creating nice, hand lettering work or whatever it might be. I'm going to follow her, instead of, a mix of different, maybe a bit too much in terms of different styles going on, and maybe you could, make that a little bit more focused as well. But yeah, great work, and I hope that kind of opinions and those tips help you, Elsa. Best of luck to you. I really like your style, and I can see it doing well on Instagram. I think just keep going at it, and like I say, try and decide which audience you're actually appealing to. And Elsa says, totally. I'm in the process of finding a niche and being more specific, and I have so many ideas, and I'm lost. So thank you very much. No problem. Yeah, I think if I was in your shoes, I think it's fine to have an account based on you as an artist and as a designer and just posting your work. I think the thing is, for people to hit the follow button, they want to see some consistency. They don't want to see, this style here and then this style here. They want to know that if I follow you, I'm going to get what I'm expecting to get. So, yeah, I think with a bit more focus on that would make it an easy follow. And you can do, you don't have to do the same kind of phrases all the time or whatever, but at least you have the same approach, and then it makes it easy for people to follow you. Okay, so that was Elsa. Hope that helps you, Elsa, and thank you for joining us live as well. Good stuff. Okay, let me see what we've got here. So I think I can probably make a few quick. I can probably cover like a few of these accounts. A few people sent in, designed by Darren and Nick Beta, especially these two. So designs by Darren. This is a pretty good case of what I was saying earlier, where on Instagram, people want to, you need to give people a reason to follow, and you need to make that distinction between whether you are an individual person or whether you're a brand. And remember, product-based brands sell products, artists create art. And here, what I read before I even see any of the posts, designs by Darren is the username. Okay, so I'm looking at designs, I'm looking at artwork by Darren, a person. And I can see here Darren Smith. So I'm looking at the account of a person on Instagram. And here we have a little bio, ex-drafter turned artist. So this is the account of an artist, and sharing my designs through wearable art. Cool. But then all of a sudden, ultra soft graphic tees, follow for exclusive offers, use the link to check us out. And then if we scroll down, we see product photos, product photos, product photos, product photos, product photos. We don't see, design. I mean, compared to, Elsa, am I following an artist here? Yeah, it's obvious I'm following an artist. Is this obvious I'm following an artist? No, it's not. I think I'm following a brand. I think I'm following a company or something. So that's the immediate confusion that I think we need to solve with something like this. And you need to decide which one it is. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but if you're going to be a brand, a product-based brand, then be a product-based brand and go all in on that. And if you're going to be an artist and post art. You got some posts here of your art. That's what I expect to see when I follow an artist, not pictures of what are, to be honest, pretty obvious mock-ups of, not real photos of t-shirts, but mock-ups of photos of t-shirts. Would the average person recognize that they're not genuine photos? No, probably not. But even the average person on the street, I think if they looked at your first 2 rows of photos, they'd probably be like, this is weird. These don't look like they were all taken in the same place at the same time. And these are various different demographics and people. So I hope that's making sense. I want to understand. I need to understand, if I'm going to follow you, I need to understand what I'm following. And I need to have a reason to follow. And I also need to understand why I would want to follow you in the first place. So I'm not going to comment on the designs itself or anything like that. I'm just going to illustrate the point that this, isn't something that's likely to induce a follow, because we're seeing first of all that confusion between brand and artist, And then we're seeing a variety of designs which don't have a solid thread running through them. I mean, this looks nothing like this. This is a scorpion. This is a lion. This is a Japanese like fish design. This is a like Ant-Man type of thing. Like this is really broad range of stuff. And it's going to be very hard for me to hit follow because I might like this design, but I don't like any of the other ones. Or I might be interested in scorpions, but I'm not interested in robots and dragons and stuff. Does that make sense? So that's why like being an artist on Instagram gives you that flexibility, because if you're an artist, people are like, oh yeah, you're an artist, so of course you're going to draw, a dog one day and a fish the next day and a robot the next day. But I expect to see them all drawn in your style. I don't expect to see different styles, but it's cool for an artist to draw different things. Like that's understandable. It's less reasonable and understandable for a brand to, sell various designs of different styles and attacking different niches. That's harder for me to understand, and it's also less like normal, if that makes sense. So designs by Darren. Nick Beta Designs, we have the same problem. I see Nick Beta, I'm seeing a name in the username and stuff. I'm seeing your name here, but I scroll down and what do I see? Ooh, mock-up. I mean, anyone who's going to take 2 seconds is going to immediately know that they're looking at mock-ups, not real photos. So that immediately turns me off because I don't want to see mock-up. I don't want to see what are obviously, something that's taken no time to create, a simple mock-up. In terms of the designs, they are very small on this. If I'm scrolling on my phone, I don't actually get a good look at the design. I can see the mock-up, but I can't see the actual design very big. So even if I like the design, I'm not getting a good look at it because it's so small on this particular photo. I don't know whether you have it zoomed in. You just have kind of different product mock-ups again. So if every post looks like this, tell me why I want to follow this. Why would I want to follow it? What's the hook? I mean, these are St. Patrick's Day. These are fish. These are food puns. There isn't a thread running through the approach. And I don't know whether I'm following an artist or what I seem to be following would be a product brand, would seem to be a company selling T-shirts. So, I hope that makes clear this issue we've got between, what am I following, who am I following, and needing to make a decision on exactly what you are. So, hope that helps. Dennis, digital illustrations for T-shirts and more, and links to your stores. Again, we kind of especially here with Nicholas, we're right into selling, right off the bat. Here's a design, come and buy it at the link. That's not, I think, the best way to approach Instagram. The best way to approach it is, like I said, offer something that's worth following. And then down the line, you can build an audience big enough that you can direct them to something. And it's not going to be like straight out of the bat, buy something from me. So Dennis, you're not doing that in your post necessarily, but you are doing it in your bio. You say digital illustrations for T-shirts and more. I mean, that's such a vague, broad bio, isn't it? Digital illustrations for T-shirts. Why, if I didn't see anything, if all I could read was the bio, that's not selling it to me. I mean, even if I'm into some of your designs, you don't tell me what kind of designs you create or for what kind of people. And then you're straight into, again, the links to buy stuff. So I would really use the bio as a place to sell yourself. Why would I want to follow you? Give me a story. Give me a hook. Give me something that would make me want to hit the follow button. I will follow you, Dennis. I can see that you follow me. But yeah, and then we get like, Dennis, what you've got going good here is you're obviously, you're posting the big images of stuff. You're not just giving us mock-ups and things, although you are doing some of that as well. But I think it's looking a little bit flat. There's not a lot of photos of real life, of real products, of real things. And I like to see that on Instagram. And the types of designs, again, we are covering such a broad range that it's very difficult for me to want to hit follow, because are these designs about Africa, or am I following for designs about skulls or designs about nutcrackers? And you need to tell me. You need to make it obvious and tell me exactly what I'm following for. So yeah, we're hitting the same kind of problems, I think, with these kind of accounts. But the main one I would say is coming back to that same point again: are you an artist or are you a brand? And making a decision about which one you want to be. Okay. Couple of comments, questions, I think. Sue's commenting on Elsa. Callie, a great sample of someone who combined both artist and product-based artist is Kathy Weller on Etsy. Okay, thank you for that. Alimi says hi. And Teddy, so would you then set up different accounts for each niche? I think the way my head runs when you ask me that question, Teddy, is that you're an artist, you got lots of designs covering lots of different niches, and you're like, well, what should I do? Like, I've got all these different niches. Do I do a brand for each niche? And that could end up, you could have like 15, 20, 30 different Instagram accounts, which is unworkable. So what I would suggest is you can go the artist route. You can be like, I'm an artist and this is what I design. If you do that, though, what you should be aware of is that artists with big followings on Instagram, they are consistent in their style and usually also pretty consistent in their subject matter. So they don't post, a picture of a dog one day and a picture of a building the next day. And they don't post a landscape one day and a portrait the next day. They usually are followed because especially if they're followed by consumers or like, a general audience, not other artists who might be following them. If they're followed by those people, it's because of those reasons. So you can go the artist route, but bear that in mind. Or you could go, set up a brand around your most popular niche, whatever that might be, or the one or two niches that you really want to focus on. I think it's difficult, especially given the modern landscape of Instagram and social media. It's difficult to see how any one person, if you're a one-man band, could run multiple Instagram accounts and do it well. I would much prefer to have one that you focus on and you're building a real brand around it. And that's not, really hear what I'm saying here. I'm not saying set up an Instagram account to post pictures, images of your designs around a particular niche. The Instagram account, if it's going to grow and have a genuine audience of interested people, has to be a brand in itself. It can't just be, here's all my St. Patrick's Day designs. No one wants to follow that. It can't be, here's all my fish designs. What it could be is fish art, whatever that means, artwork around fish or something. But it can't just be, here's my T-shirt designs that are of fish. And, I imagine people are going to follow that. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's how I'd approach that. I'd be more inclined to think, what are the potential brand opportunities that I have? What are the assets I have? What are my best sellers? What do I have good experience in? What would be the best option if someone had a gun to my head and was like, you have to choose something and build a brand around it, and within a year's time it has to have 10,000 Instagram followers? What's that going to be? Those kind of questions would be good to ask yourself. Okay. I'll just do, let me see here. I've got 2, maybe 3 more to quickly review, and then we'll take questions and I'll go through my slides. In fact, let me just quickly go through. Let me quickly review and then I'll go through my slides. Okay. Here we go. We're back. No, we're not. Here we go. Art of Adventure. So this is one of the, I think maybe the only submission that is what I would call a brand rather than an artist. So Art of Adventure, let's see what we got here. No adventure, no life, Art of Adventure. Because it's there and we got some trademarks going on, clothing and gear designed for the adventurous life. And we have some photos of national parks, which is cool, and things like that, outdoor stuff, and some quotes. Yeah, we have some interesting photos to look at, some nice quotes over photos. So there's some good here. I think the good is that as a brand, you've understood that you can't just post pictures of products. You can't just post picture after picture of t-shirts or hoodies or something. You have to do more than that, and you have to engage people and engage your following with content that they might like. And I especially think that the photo route is probably the strongest way to do that in this kind of space. People who are into hiking and adventure sports and stuff want to see photos of that thing. Where I think the difficulty here is with what I'm seeing here is that it's very general. We have a very broad, generic topic, I think, which is adventure or outdoors, active stuff. And for me, that's a huge, broad niche to cover. And, you've got people kayaking, you've got surfboards, you've got snowboarding, you've got whatever the heck this guy's doing, scuba diving. For me, that is way too broad. And I think the engagement of people, I don't think, I suppose some people would be like, oh, I'm an adventurous person. I like outdoors and stuff like that. But I think people are much more like if you had a brand built around, for example, surfing, that's a lot easier to get behind and understand. It's hard, I think, to appeal to people who like surfing and skydiving and scuba diving and paddleboarding and windsurfing all in one. I think that's difficult. And I think what you're trying to do, I can kind of see where your viewpoint is. I think what you're trying to build is a kind of North Face or a brand around, that has that mass appeal. The thing is, those brands do not start big in general. They start very focused around something. Like Nike started around running shoes for runners, and that was it. That's all they did. And then maybe 10 years later, they bring out something for basketball players or something. I don't really know, like North Face or whatever, but I imagine they started around coats for winter explorers or something, and then it grows later. So what you've got here is you started broad, and then that's really hard. And it would be easier, I think, to really niche down and pick something and go after that. The other thing is, and looking at your what I assume is a Shopify store, this is your designs and stuff are very logo centric. There's quite a lot of focus on your logo and kind of the name and art of adventure and that kind of thing. That's really hard because, if I'm looking at this for the first time, I have no connection with the word or the branding art of adventure. It means nothing to me. I'm not seeing like funny quotes and, okay, there's a few things here. They're usually on the back of the shirt though, which makes it a little bit hard for me to get into. Like mountains are freedom. Okay, that's could be a nice phrase. I could maybe, connect with, but it's on the back of the shirt. And then it's got this Art of Adventure logo on the front. Well, I don't know what Art of Adventure is. I've only just stumbled across you. You're not an established brand. Why would I want to buy a shirt with that on the front? I think you've got the whole thing kind of flipped upside down. And I would go and flip it the other way around, flip it the right way up. And, make your logo small. Make your logo the tiniest piece of everything, and make the design something that someone who's into what you're trying to sell to would really get and would really like. So a really nice design around a particular thing. Like this is a nice design. Adventure is waiting. But I wouldn't have it on the back. I'd have it on the front, and I probably wouldn't have my logo on it at all, or I'd have it really, really tiny. So yeah, hope that helps you out of adventure. I think, some good stuff on the Instagram approach, like you're getting in the right direction, but you've got your logo on everything. And I don't know, I think you're trying to run before you can walk, if that makes sense. Okay, we got about 5 minutes. I don't think I'm going to have time to, sorry guys, do these ones because I want to get to my stuff. So sorry if I didn't get to yours. Maybe we can do it in a future session. Teddy said, thank you. Amira said, thank you, Michael. Michael, that analogy helped me to immediately know my niche's smiles. And Melanie said, wow, the gun to the head was profound just now. A niche jumped out at me. Cool. And Melanie says, except that niche is so saturated, I would really need to sub-niche. Well, at least you know now, Melanie, you need to sub-niche. Well, that's a plan. Like, you can sub-niche. Go and figure out how to sub-niche it. Amira, thank you, Michael. That analogy helped me to immediately know. I already read that. Okay, cool. So yeah, the gun to the head thing helps. Instagram for artists. So a few things to take away from like what we just reviewed. Are you a person or not? Are you a brand or are you an individual or are you a content-based account or are you a pop-up brand? Which of them are you? Make a decision and then be that. The big question is, why would I hit follow? Why would I want to follow you? Why would I, what's the motivating factor? You have to have an answer to that question. If you don't, you're not going to get followers. Don't be vague. Be specific. Don't be, we are for people who like adventure. We are for 60-year-old women who like snowboarding. That's much better and is going to, allow you to connect with who you're after much quicker. Don't try and sell to me off the bat. This is like saying, hello, my name is, and then immediately trying to sell me a t-shirt. Like, whoa, we're not there yet. Take me out for dinner first. Don't try and sell off the bat. Just, you want to get people to engage and follow you. You want to show them stuff and then follow you. You don't want to try and get them to buy stuff straight away. And help me understand what you are. So with your visuals, with your posts, with your stories, with your bio, with your username, use all of that to explain to me, to help me understand what you are, because people are scrolling and people are going to take 3 seconds, if that, to look at your profile and make a decision right then and there. And if anything in that mix confuses me or doesn't gel with what I'm looking for, then I'm off. We do this all the time subconsciously. Whether you're looking for a certain website, you're looking for a t-shirt design, or you're looking for people to follow on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you take a few seconds. No, that's not right. No, I'm not looking for that. No, the colors are wrong. No, the fonts are bad. No, the face is wrong. Whatever it is. So you need to help me understand what you are really quickly. What you can post as an artist or as a designer on Instagram, inspiration. Post your inspiration. Some great examples are what's his name? Stephen Rhodes. Thank you, Brain. Stephen Rhodes is wonderful on Instagram, 152,000 followers. He's an artist. Like, he doesn't actually sell his products from here. He tells you places you can buy stuff, but he posts his art. And what else does he post? His inspiration. He posts funny things that he sees and that inspires his art. And he does little funny mock-ups of stuff. And he posts his work in progress, posts his sketches on nice colored backgrounds so they look cool on Instagram. He just takes that little bit of extra time to do stuff and make it look nice. Inspiration like Transformers, because that's the kind of people who he's going after, or He-Man. He's posting cool photos. He's obviously taken this photo himself and taken the time to pull out his He-Man figure and take a nice photo of it, because he knows that people who follow him are into that kind of stuff, or these are the kind of people he wants to attract. So yeah, you can see there's care and attention gone into every part of it, but he's an artist and he's mainly posting his artwork. He's posting some detail, like close-up detail shots and stuff and progress things. So really good example, Stephen Rhodes to follow as an example of that. But yeah, inspiration, works in progress, your workspace and your tools. Like, what are you using? Show me, on Procreate, you can do the replay stuff. Post your replay videos and things like that. Zoom in on details. Show me real product photos, not the same kind of mock-ups over and over again. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to use mock-ups now and again, but you better take the time to think about the mock-up and make it appropriate for your audience. Don't just, use a standard mock-up all the time. Okay, I think we covered it. We got through it with 40 seconds left. If you're looking for, let me do a little quick book plug before I take questions. Instagram is a visual medium, just like t-shirt designs are. And one of the things that makes it a great place for designers of t-shirts is that you can just take your designs like Stephen does and just post them on Instagram. And guess what? People really like them because they look good and they look nice. And creating good ideas for t-shirts is often very similar process to coming up with good ideas that will work on social media. So if you want to grow your Instagram and you're able to read between the lines a little bit, then the little book of t-shirt ideas could be great for you because it has step-by-step formulas how to come up with original ideas for any niche, for any market, for any community, and over 150 individual unique examples, original illustrations and all sorts of stuff. And it might be a great fit. You can open this up and use it as a reference, not just for coming up with design ideas for your t-shirts, but also just funny quotes or ideas for your Instagram. Like maybe you don't turn it into a t-shirt design. Maybe it's just a quick, funny sketch that you throw on Instagram and it gets a load of likes. So if you don't already have the little book of t-shirt ideas, michaelessek.com/book is the place to go. They are available as an ebook. It's available as an ebook and paperback versions as well. Okay. It has hit the hour mark, but if there are any questions, I will have a few minutes here where I can take your questions. And I will give you a couple of seconds to ask them before we close it down. Dennis, great advice. Thanks, Michael. We'll definitely adjust accordingly. Cool, good. Teddy, take me out to dinner first. Absolutely. Sue says, huge existential crisis taking place. Oh, it must be Thursday, right, Sue? Always on a Thursday with the existential crises. Gary, excellent info. Thanks, Michael. No problem. Thank you, Gary. I think we covered quite a lot of ground there pretty fast, and I hope that you got something from it. I think I'll make these slides available if you missed them and if you want to go back and see some of the posts and stuff. But yeah, good people to follow on Instagram. Stephen is very good. Who else is good? Like Vincent, our good friend Vincent Trinidad. He's got a pretty prolific Instagram account as well. Can see just design after design after design, really, but the occasional real product photo and stuff like that just to shake things up. So yeah, I mean, even Gary, let's have a look at Gary's, if you won't mind. Oh no, where are you, Gary? Here we go. See, Gary's got some nice photos of his tarot card things. And wonderful work, of course, work in progress here. We can watch his little Procreate replay. Lovely stuff. Hope you don't mind me embarrassing you, Gary, but very cool work. So yeah, all right. I don't see any questions coming in, so I think we'll leave it there for today. So thanks for joining me. I'll let Gary's video play us out. And I'll be in your inboxes tomorrow with a roundup. If you want free resources and stuff, then check out michaelessek.com/live up there. And question has come in from Nimons. Not from Nimons. That's Gary's brand name. Tom, any thoughts on your brand being your actual name versus another made-up brand name? I don't think it's really important. Like if your like Tom, I don't know that your name is Tom Briscoe. I assume your name is Tom Briscoe, but I don't see your birth certificate and I don't see your passport. It doesn't really matter to me whether your name is Tom Briscoe or not. So bear that in mind. Like if the artist name is Nimons or if the artist name is Gary Hall, it doesn't make that much of a difference. What matters is whether you position yourself as an individual. Like you can be an individual called Potato Head 85. Like that's fine. It's probably not the best brand name, but you can do that. Or you can be an individual with an individual name. Now, I don't think it really matters if you're trying to, build up a following necessarily. The only consideration is what kind of following you're trying to build up. Like if I'm trying to sell you a book, sell you my little book of t-shirt ideas, it's harder if that book is being sold by Essek and there's no face and there's just a little, avatar, a little drawn picture, you're probably going to trust me less. But because you can see my face, because you can hear my voice, because my face is on the book and my name is on the book, it probably makes it easier for you to actually make that purchase. Now, that's less of a consideration if you're trying to sell t-shirts. Like, I don't care what your name is, I don't care what you look like when I'm buying a t-shirt, because I'm buying the t-shirt. We're talking about two completely different products and different motives and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be the only consideration I would give to that. I suppose the other thought is, do you want your name, your actual name, your legal name, to be associated with what you're producing? You may not, for some reason. You may want to go under a pseudonym or an avatar for that reason. You may not want your face to be used for that reason. But there's plenty of artists who are quite happy to share their faces and stuff, and it can help build trust, I think, in certain ways. But I don't think it's a huge deal breaker when it comes to building an art licensing business a la Stephen Rhodes, Vincent, or whatever. It's pretty hard to dig out a photo of Stephen Rhodes. You won't find one on his Instagram account. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Thank you, Tom, for the question. Bo, thanks. The slides will be helpful. Well, where will you post them? I will post them on Scout's Honor as soon as this video is finished, on the page which you will land on after you go on michaelessek.com/live and confirm your email. Once you confirm your email, that link will take you straight to a page with all the resources, all load of free resources. I'm going to post these slides at the top of that page within the next 15 minutes. So Scout's Honor, I will do that right away. Okay, I think we'll leave it there for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Hope this was helpful. If you want help with your t-shirt ideas, very reasonably priced book on the subject is called The Little Book of T-Shirt Ideas. It's by me, Michael Essek. There's my face, there's my avatar, and it's available at michaelessek.com/book. All right, thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next week. If not before, take it easy, have a good rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk soon. All right, thank you, guys. Bye-bye.